I realized, like, for the most part, being alone is a superpower. You got to be able to conquer some stuff to be able to be like, yo, I'm cool with being alone. And for me, like, the lady, like I said, doesn't make her a mother, but whatever. You're gonna forever be alone. You're gonna be forever by yourself. Thank you for that proposition and that premonition. I am okay with that. I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got past the fact of some people are like, oh, that's bitter. That's the wrong way of thinking about things, honey. I am completely okay with being by myself. Like, I have a hand with fingers that, hey, if I want to get off, I can get myself off. There's places that you can go invest in little toys and stuff like that and get yourself off. Like, I feel like I get off better with that anyway. Like, there's not enough head, there's not enough, you know Oscar Mayer wieners out there in the world. It's like, I am not satisfied by none of that. And it's not to say like I'm not satisfied or nothing like that. It's just like I have a different way of how I think about that desire in that way of intimacy. And most of the time people feel like there's really no connection. So most of the time anybody coming towards me, I be knowing what they want. That, like, either you want some cootie cat, or you like what's back there in the bag, or you know what I'm saying, you probably just like what I got in my bag. And then it's like, motherfucker, I can make the money, but most of the time my money is well spent because I gotta take care of some kids, I got bills to pay for. And then there's things that I'm looking to start up for myself. And however, y'all sitting here thinking like it's cool for y'all mental health to come over here and bother me and like, oh, I'm gonna do this for you and then do that. Like, baby, there's nothing that you could really do for me, to make me think otherwise. Because most of the time, y'all gotta go home to y'all wives, y'all gotta go home to these girlfriends. Even it don't matter what community you in. It's people that still gotta go back to somebody, and then it's like come bothering me, and it's like you still belong to somebody. Why are you bothering somebody knowing you got somebody? If you find it interesting, please, like, I had this guy, like, while I was, here in Puerto Rico or whatever, and he thought he was gonna, like, he had this thing where he will pop up every 3 months, and like his trait and his character had already showed me. So I was like, oh, I already know where this was gonna go. Anyway, he called himself. I invited him over, like, we supposed to have kicked it and smoked or whatever. He was a Leo. He had this car, and he used to work at a dispensary, but I don't know how he lost that job. So I was like, I let it go. So I'm talking to him or whatever, and he was just like, oh, I'm into you, your skin and the way you smell, da da da. I haven't ever been with a black girl before. And I'm just like, okay, cool, whatever. Like, at this point, I was already just beyond turned off. I just wanted to see what you was talking about. Plus, I'm fucking bored. You know what I'm saying? Like, human connection is necessary sometimes, but I just wanted to see where his mind was at. So he's telling me, and I made it my business to ask, what about your woman? What about your girlfriend? What's going on with her, type thing. And instead of like him being there, it's like I made it my issue, my business to be like, all right, well, why don't you consider, if you like, this what you like so much, and you're still in love with your girlfriend or wife, which I assume he got a wife. But I was like, if you so in love with this person so much, why don't you make it your business and have a threesome or something with her, or at least have a conversation with her, so you not out here just cheating on her, because it's not fair to her. And me, I already knew I wasn't gonna give him none, but it was just like, cool. So he came over this one night. He was really thinking he was gonna get into the mood. Like, motherfucker, for one, you already fucked up. You only text every few, the conversation is shitty, you don't have nothing to talk about, you didn't even come over here with a whole bunch of weed, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, at this point, you don't really have much conversation to keep me even nowhere near fucking intrigued. So, me, I already had plotted in my mind, let's see what you're working with anyway. And you better pray to God that I don't keep the light on, because I would have recorded it. But anyway, push come to shove, it's getting ready to get to the business, and he's just all over excited. Honey, he pulled it out. I was like, baby, what am I looking at? And he's sitting there looking at me, hey, what's up? And like, he really thinking we's about to get in the mood and do. I'm sitting here looking at dude, but what am I going to do with this boy? I'm sitting here looking at like, motherfucker, this not even making a pass the eraser of the motherfucking pencil. What the fuck am I supposed to do with this? So, in the most politest way, while I'm sitting there looking at it, and I put the flashlight of the phone on it, and I looked up at him, and I'm looking back at it, and I'm looking at him, and I was like, motherfucker, what the fuck you think I'm supposed to do with this shit? But me already knowing, I wasn't gonna do shit with his ass in the first place. He's like, oh, mommy, oh, my motherfucker, quit touching me. I was already turned off before you even started to touch me. But I was just trying to see, like, all the hype and all that shit you was texting. Baby, it's not matching. And when I realized what you was talking, and you was talking this big talk, like you had that pack, and then I was sitting there looking like, baby, you ain't blowing nobody's back. I see why you gotta keep going around. And then it's like, the way you going around, baby, the only thing you can get down with is something in the LGBT community. They accept it. I won't. But it was just like, I just politely was just like, well, I'm not in the mood. And he was like, huh? I was like, you know what? I just want you to know I'm good. You know what I'm saying? This ain't even gonna work. And then he left. When I say motherfucker left out of that bitch, fuming, like hot. When I say mad, super mad, skirted off the road. Like, bruh, you should have known you weren't gonna get shit. And then it's like, when I seen that, like, it took everything in me not to laugh in this motherfucker face. Like, I guarantee he probably was going around telling people like, oh, she's a whore. She's this, she's that. Like motherfucker, you ain't no different than the last nigga that I was with, going around and trying to convince people, oh, she's a lie, she's this, she's that. Like, baby, it was like, at the end of the day, I just realized most people that I come in contact, like right now, I'm so turned off from sex, like it's ridiculous. Like, I'm so turned off from it. It's like the thought of it, it's like I get disgusted. Shit, I even try to go on the sites and just like try to get excited. And baby, I can't even get excited with that. And I'm just like, and I'm talking about, I'm watching everything. I didn't care if it was a she-male, male on male. Baby, I was just so turned off from it. And it's just like, what has it come to? And then I was just like, baby, maybe you just traumatized from all this stuff that people have done put you throughout your life. Like, you don't really even care. Like, the worst shit that can happen to you, like your own mama and your own quote unquote mama and daddy supposed to have your back, and baby, it was mama, daddy, auntie, cousins, distant cousin, play cousins, the nigga that I was sleeping with, like, nigga. And then it was like the nigga that I was sleeping with, like, the biggest disappointment is like, nigga, you out here trying to be quote unquote player, like ain't shit player about none of the shit you doing. A player gonna keep it real with you, shit, nigga. I'm a player for real. Like, ask any nigga that fuck with me for real, he gonna tell you, yo, she gonna keep it real with you. Rita ain't, I'm not on that type of time, baby. If I'm fucking with you, him, and him, y'all gonna know about each other. And I'm just gonna make it very clear, y'all got the choice and option to go. There's the door. You also got the option to go down your phone log and go ahead and put block or whatever the case you may need to do just to get away from this good juju. And baby, whatever it is that you choose to do, that's on you, because I really could care less about what the fuck it is that you do. Like, if fuck it and I don't give a fuck was a meme or a mime or whatever the fuck you want to call it, baby, put me there on the first in line. Baby, I don't care about none of that. Like, what are you doing for me? Nothing. Okay, half the time anybody coming towards me, y'all can't even afford half the bills that I'm even fucking paying. So what is you doing? You know what I'm saying? I got rent, I got a car note, I got a cell phone, you know what I'm saying? I got to get diapers still, you know what I'm saying? Because I got a special needs child. Baby, all of that, you know what I'm saying? Rounded it up, I'm dropping bands. Not no 1, 2, not no 3. You know what I'm saying? I'm dropping bands on the bills that I have to pay and the investments that I make. And ain't none of y'all bringing that. And most of the time, y'all not even bringing the good birthday cake, because it's like, shit, busted wide open, baby. You ain't busting nothing, and shit, a little bit of squirt won't do too much. And most of y'all just want to come back, oh, she's chasing me, baby. I would not ever want to chase you in my wildest dreams. It requires too much out of me. You know what I'm saying? I done birthed 7 little things. One of them I lost, and then, a few, abortion, a miscarriage, and things like that. But I'm okay with that. And it's just like, baby, ain't nothing that y'all doing that's new for me to be like, oh, I'm so intrigued with you. My man. Like, none of that shit. Like, I'm not even appalled or intrigued. And then it's like, the chicks that want to come up, baby, please keep that over there. Shit, half the fucking women in the LGBT community, shit, they be having fucking herpes. If not, they be passing off that shit, that BV and shit, because some of them still be sneaking and geeking, going to double dip and getting them some Peter Wackle. And then it's just like, oh, it's like, baby, y'all don't even know what the fuck y'all want. So it's like, It's like y'all going to Bible service and you don't even know what scripture you on type shit. And it's just like, don't be like a Jehovah knocking on my door on a fucking Saturday talking about, oh, hear what the Lord said. I don't give a fuck who the fuck I'm offending at this point. That's your personal agenda, because I'm not looking to offend you, but I'm just making a fucking metaphor about what the fuck this is on. Like, people keep knocking. Stop knock. I don't want you calling me. No, don't call me. Like, I am not the person that you call whenever you feel like, oh, I'm feeling lonely, or I need some attention, or because I know you're going to love me. Bitch, all that, them days is gone, okay? You might as well say, chop that shit up and gone. That shit was been gone since fucking July 2021, baby. As a matter of fact, that shit left out the door November 17, 2021, whenever I had to go ahead and cremate my son, baby, that shit just went out the door. And the only reason being why I'm having to cremate my son, because all the shit that went along with it, and they lucky, you know, them bullshit ass people are so fucking lucky that I cremated my son, because they know if I didn't cremate my son, they know they would have had every fucking evidence that they needed to prove everything that I've been saying, that I know for a fucking fact all y'all fucking people had something to do with my son. Like, I know it's an accident, special needs kids get out the house or whatever, but what happened to my son, I honestly feel like it was a fucking sacrifice. And like, baby, it is what it is. And that last nigga that was with me, like, he cannot ever fucking return, show me his face, no nothing like that. Like, you were that person, him, my family, and everybody there are a fucking disgrace to me, a huge fucking disappointment. And just to turn around and be like, hey Sharita, hey Rita, we love you, I don't even fuck with y'all on a short way, long way, halfway, on a good day or a fucking bad day. Like, how the way y'all played that game and shit like that, like, that's the worst way to play with somebody. And it's just like, you let shit be what it be, you know what I'm saying? Even though the recovery gets a little bit difficult at times and stuff like that, the most that I could be saying to anybody is just like, know your power and your position about what it is that you was trying to do and get back on your mission. Because too, you know what I'm saying, the biggest thing of it was, when I even was messing with dude, it was like, I remember everything I was fucking doing. Like, I'm in school, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm in college. I was actually getting, certifications, to start side hustles. I was doing all kinds of things. Like, all my business and adventures was on the go. And then this motherfucker coming in through the door, and then all that shit just kind of slowed down. However, it had no choice but to slow down, especially after my son passed. When I had that nigga laying there, and I'm sitting there looking like, this nigga is like bad juju or something like that. Like, I felt like that nigga was cursed or something, because everything that I had going on in my life wasn't going good for me, but it was going great for him. So I was just like, every time I'm with him, I'm drained, I'm tired, I can't breathe, I can't sleep, I can't do nothing. So once I realized, like, hey, you just need to cut all these motherfucking people out your life. Like, people gonna lie to you, people gonna steal, from you, try to do what it is that you do. And it's just like, shit, I just know at that point, I just had to make better fucking moves for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, the end of the cake of the Bible is like, motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? You like the same, you gay, sir, you know what I'm saying? Just like my ex-husband. And it's like, y'all just leave me the fuck alone, you know what I'm saying? Like, even if he wasn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, you had your family all involved in this, hating me and shit, like I was doing something to you. And I wasn't doing nothing to that fucking man, but try to love him, build him up, make sure that he grow, make sure he can have what it is that he needed. Like, you crying and complaining to me, oh, I miss my daughter, like, bitch, like, all that shit, like, all them days where a nigga could come run to me telling me, oh, this what happened in my last relationship, oh, this happened with my kids, like, nigga, I don't want to hear none of that shit. I don't want to hear nothing about none of that shit. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. I really don't. I reiterate, I don't give a fuck about none of this shit. Because, motherfucker, I know what it feels like to be like a fucking baby daddy. Here I am as a mother of children. And then I got a bitter ass baby daddy that, ties up with my family and the last nigga I was with, just to make sure, you convince shit like, oh, she a bad mother, she's this. Like, you go through all these hoops and loops to make me look bad, and you take away the things that I love the most. And it's like, it's cool, you know what I'm saying? It's expected, you know what I'm saying? It's shit like, for my mama, that shit is expected. When that bitch go low, that bitch go low. Like, there's no couth. There's no filter to that hoe. That hoe will go low, shit. And especially if it's about her motherfucking money, shit, she gonna take that shit to straight hell. You know what I'm saying? Her and her motherfucking sister and her mama. Like, they on that type of shit. And it's like, it's a West Coast thing. Like, To me, you compare a person from the West Coast to the East Coast. The West Coast is motherfucking ruthless. And I'm talking about real West Coast shit, like on that real West Coast time. Not that, oh, I'm from Georgia. Nah, y'all ain't on no type of shit. You on that Cali, that Texas, that Oklahoma, that Las Vegas shit. Them motherfuckers go hard. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, that's neither here nor there. I'm just saying, like, that bitch was so fucking cold. Her and her sister, like, y'all knew what's up. Y'all knew what happened to me. Y'all knew what was growing up, how growing up it was for me. But I ain't even here to fucking complain about that. Because shit, the only thing I need to do is get back to what Sharita need to do. What's going to be my best motherfucking move. What can I do to make sure that I can heal from myself in the best way possible so I could be able to help heal my kids, because shit, I know all this shit that I just went through, been having to deal with, it's affected their fucking mental health shit. You don't think, like, I had to sit there and talk to my son and he kept it G with me, like, the only time they see me is happy. They don't barely see me happy, but shit, they see me mad, they see me crying, they see me angry and shit. They see every fucking emotion except for happiness, peace, or freedom. And then it's like, what little bit of laughter shit, they be like, shit, we don't know how long that's gonna last shit. And that also affects them, because shit, they barely even want to fucking laugh, because it's like, shit, they feeling bad because they laughing and they know, like, shit, my mama don't ever fucking laugh type shit. And it's like, I gotta be serious in the paint, because shit, I gotta look at, at every fucking corner, every instance. What's this person's move towards me? What they talking about? What they on? Like, I don't even want to fucking talk to y'all motherfuckers. If you talk to me, I'm gonna talk to you. But just understand, it's just gonna be surface level and basic level. Oh, hey, how are you? I'm good. You good? Okay. And outside of that, I don't really give a fuck about what you got going on in your hood, in your world, your kids. I really don't honestly give a fuck about that. But if I ask you, apparently I probably genuinely want to know, not knowing that, on the other hand, a motherfucker asking me about that shit, they don't really give a fuck. But if I ask your bitch ass about it, how your kids doing, bitch, I really want to know how your kids doing. And it ain't for no pure satisfaction. I want to figure out if you doing bad or doing good. Shit, my experience, anybody from this point, shit, all it was is she doing bad or she doing good. But I don't give a fuck about none of this shit. Let's keep it moving. Let's see how fast can we progress and make process from this shit, because the rest of that shit don't mean nothing to me. It is what it is. Out.